1980s to Buffalo, New York.
2000 to Indianapolis, Indiana.
1988 to Tennessee.
1984 to San Francisco, California.
My parents were actually born in the U.S., but my grandparents immigrated before 1930.
My dad actually flunked high school and ended up graduating when he was 20 years old.
My grandpa fought in the Vietnam War, so my parents actually met in Chinese school after immigrating to the US.
My parents immigrated in their teens and have been together since high school. They've helped and supported each other by integrating themselves into Western society.
My mom has 9 siblings, and they traveled to the United States via boat. She experienced pirate attacks, raids, and then stayed in Indonesian refugee camps. The journeys of my mom's family were detailed in a 1983 article of the People newspaper and were recently compiled into a book entitled In Search of Home.
Growing up torn between your own culture and the norm of American society and Western culture.
Learning our mother tongue.
An emphasis on education, family, and stability, but a lack of emphasis on exploration, creativity, and going off the beaten path.
Being raised in a traditional household.
Quiet struggles. Our experiences are usually out of the spotlight.
The model minority myth.
Yes.
Yes, in elementary school I had straight hair while everyone else had curly hair.
Yes. In elementary school, I would bring dumplings from home for lunch and I got made fun of, so I switched to Lunchables instead.
Yes, my grandpa used to do Tai Chi at my elementary school after dropping me off.
Chinese Americans largely avoid being political and feed into the model minority myth, which pits us against other minorities.
The categorization and issuing of racist remarks against Chinese Americans feeds into the current political climate that marginalizes us.
Being Chinese American means that you hold ties to 2 very different countries and cultures. This is why I think our identity is political, because we have to always consider not only where we are now, but also our past and how it will affect the future.
Chinese Americans are made to feel as if we're completely integrated in white society from the model minority myth, but we still face discrimination and a lack of representation in media and politics.
Educate.
Educate people about the issues within the AAPI community and about what steps they can take moving forward.
Unite different generations to bring forth political change.
The younger generations are already becoming more aware and political, and I think this can be furthered by pushing for people to understand that being political is not, quote-unquote, being sensitive. Our food.
My heritage.
Our parents' experiences.
The immersion of our cultures.
Our community.
Chinese Americans have a rich political history that is largely looked over. Since the late 19th century, we have been fighting for our rights. From protesting the Chinese Exclusion Act, to creating garment worker unions for better working conditions, to fighting for the justice of Vincent Chin, to improving the conditions of Chinatowns, and now to stopping the extreme rise of hate crimes towards our community. We as Chinese Americans have a responsibility to continue this legacy of advocacy and activism, as well as uplift other marginalized voices. Now more than ever, it is critical to speak up, learn, educate, and take action.
In ACA, we facilitate and discuss critical current issues and events, particularly on topics and issues that affect the Asian American community and other people of color. Through general meetings, town hall discussions, the Amazing Chinatown Race, Asian Pacific Coalition, and other activities, we encourage members to get more involved. Because it's up to us to be involved, to vote and to speak up for those who came before us and those that will come after us. The past year has highlighted and emphasized how important it is that we understand our identity and what we can do to help the communities around us. And this is only the beginning.